What's up, guys? Hopefully that little intro video got you as psyched as it did me. Super pumped about that. But here's your workout for today. It is Thursday, April 16th, 2020, April 16th. So warm up today, guys. Here's what we have for you. We have some general mobility that we're gonna start out with, some basic stretches just for a couple minutes, kind of get things moving, get things nice and stretched out. Remember, as we do these, it's super passive. We're just trying to just kind of get things mobilized a little bit, get our bodies prepped for what we're gonna do today. So it's gonna start off with a 1 minute seated straddle stretch. So seated straddle, guys, you're just gonna come down on the ground, you're gonna place your feet nice and wide. From here, all I want you to do is just very passively start to lean forward. As we do that, we want to think about doing it at the hips, not at the back, rounding forward here, right? So I always like thinking about kind of getting my chest tall first, and then trying to get my chest coming forward and out. Okay, so that's gonna be for 1 minute. After that, you guys are gonna do 1 minute of lizard stretch. That's gonna be with an active reach, okay? So a little bit different than just a standard lizard. You guys will come down, you'll get into a lizard stretch, but the back leg, so if my right knee is out in front, my back leg is actually gonna remain straight. So I'm gonna literally just extend that leg up as far as possible, really opening up the front of that hip flexor. And then from there, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna reach my arm through like this, and then I'm gonna reach up. Okay, I'm gonna rotate for a full minute, just opening up that upper back, opening up the front of that hip, and the front of this one as well. All right, so again, that's gonna be for 1 minute on each side. Once we're done with that, you're gonna either get into a seal or sphinx pose for 1 minute. So with that, guys, we'll come down. We can either go to our elbows here like this, thinking about driving the elbows into our chest and reaching that chest forward and up, getting a nice stretch in that upper back. Or if we're mobile enough, we should say, you can press up with arms extended here. Just make sure there's no pinching sensation in the low back if you guys are gonna do that, okay? But that's gonna be for the general mobility. After that, you're gonna get into a little 6-minute AMRAP, just kind of moving through it. It's just 30-second stations, okay? Now, side note on that, make sure that you guys are keeping 30 seconds at each station and then just rotate into the next one, right? So obviously if I start at 0 and I start my 30 seconds of dive bombs, and then it takes me 10 seconds to transition, we'll start the 30 seconds from the 40-second mark, if that makes sense, okay? So full 30 seconds at each station, just rotating through as we go, cruising for that full 6 minutes, okay? So that first one is 30 seconds of dive bombs. Think of a dive bomb as kind of like an inchworm to cobra a little bit, that cobra position. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna get kind of in almost like a down dog, or like reaching back a little bit, so I'm kind of in down dog. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drive my head through, like so, reach up, and then come back. Okay, to that down dog position. So we're never actually just doing a push-up, we're just driving through, pressing up, and then rotating back. Okay, we can do that at the knees if we need to, if we need to modify that movement, but we're gonna do that for a full 30 seconds just to get nice and slow control. From there, guys, we're gonna go into 30 seconds of bootstrap squats. Bootstrap squats, feet are just outside of the shoulders. We're just grabbing on the bottom of the feet or top, doesn't matter, just make sure elbows are inside of the knees. We're gonna squat down, pushing that chest out, then we're gonna drive our hips up and back, finding some tension in those hamstrings. So nice and slowly, just kind of rotating through for a full 30 seconds on that. After that, we have 30 seconds of scat push-ups. So scat push-ups, guys, we're keeping our arms extended the entire time. So what's gonna happen is you guys are going to the top of the push-up position. Once we find that, I'm gonna sink in, arms are straight, and then I'm gonna press out, again, arms are straight. So I'm just doing that for a total of 30 seconds. Again, guys, nice and controlled movement. Think about keeping that core nice and active. We do have some core work today, so it's important that we're nice and tight, just kind of staying controlled with that movement as we go through it. Lastly, guys, we have 30 seconds of alternating step-ups. Sorry, couldn't read it. The alternating step-ups. I don't have a bench handy because, well, they're all being used right now. So with that, guys, if we have a box, we can step up on it, alternating step-ups for 30 seconds. Or what you guys can do if we don't have access to a box or something to step up on, you guys can do reverse lunges instead. So just dropping back, driving up. Just make sure as we do those, guys, the chest remains nice and tall. We're nice and controlled with our movement. As we get to that bottom position, the left knee is directly underneath the left hip, and my knee is tracking over the foot. And notice there's vertical shins there. From there, I'm gonna drive straight up, going into my next rep. Okay, so it's alternating for a full 30 seconds. So just rotate through that for 6 minutes, guys. That's gonna be warm up for today. Have some fun, get after it. All right, folks, so our workout today, we have a 30-minute EMOM. Today's gonna work a little bit differently. You're gonna have 20 seconds at each station for the most part. But what we're gonna start off with is minute 1. We're gonna do 20 seconds of Cossack squats, followed immediately up by 20 seconds of reverse lunges. Okay, so it's gonna be a full 20 seconds. So from 0 to 20, you're doing the Cossack squats, alternating, followed up by 20 seconds of those reverse lunges, okay? So immediately at 40 seconds, you are resting until that following minute. So you get 20 seconds, nice little transition there. Minute 2, you guys are gonna go through 20 seconds of diamond push-ups, followed up, same concept, immediately by 20 seconds of regular push-ups, okay? So kind of working some different parts of the tricep, the shoulder, the chest, all that good stuff. It just kind of makes for a more complete workout. Minute 3, we have 20 seconds hollow hold, plus 20 seconds of hollow rocks. Minute 4, we have 20 seconds of step-ups on our left side, then 20 seconds on our right. Minute 5, we have 40 seconds of cardio of your choice. You can choose to do jumping jacks, jump rope, running. If you have a rower, a salt bike, whatever that may be, you have 40 seconds on that machine, device, or that conditioning piece in general. But minute 6, you're going to rest. So the idea here, guys, is that we really want to push that 40 seconds each minute, and then obviously justify the rest at the end. The 40 seconds of cardio at the end, we should be pushing pretty dang hard. Okay, so again, just keep that in mind as you guys are going through those sets. It's 5 total sets. You guys are going to do quite a bit of work within that 30 minutes. So again, it's important that we justify that rest, okay? But our Cossack squat, starting off with that, guys. We're gonna have our feet nice and wide, okay? And from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna rotate to one side. I'm gonna squat down to one side. So I'm gonna go to my left. Well, as I do this, I'm gonna think about keeping my chest nice and tall. I'm gonna initiate this with my hips, just like we would a normal squat. And then as we do this, we're gonna reach our arms out in front if we want. We're gonna squat all the way down. Once we get to that bottom position, we're gonna drive through our heel and stand. From there, just go to the right side. Again, it's just gonna be rotating back and forth for a full 20 seconds, okay? Once we get to that next 20 seconds though, the reverse lunges, just be sure, guys, we've talked a lot about lunges lately, but make sure that our feet are just kind of staying underneath our hips when we start, okay? Now from here, as I drop down into that lunge, I really just want to think about dropping that left foot if I'm having my right foot out in front. Just thinking about dropping it straight down and back so that I can keep myself nice and centered, but more importantly, kind of keep the knee tracking over the feet and those hips in line, okay? Anytime we tend to get this way a little bit, it starts to throw our hips off a little bit as well, okay? So that's gonna be for the first minute. From there, we have our diamond push-ups, guys. We're gonna make the shape of a diamond. So from right here, we can put our hands together. And then obviously with the push-up, guys, same thing applies. We definitely don't wanna flare our elbows out too far this way. It's gonna be a little bit of a habit for most of us. But try to avoid that, okay? So as we come down, we're thinking about pushing the elbows slightly back and then driving up, okay? Then from there, the 20 seconds after that, of course, we're just gonna go to a regular push-up. Now, someone did ask about general push-up, just questions, how to properly do a push-up. So I'll hit on that really quick, but guys, push-up, make sure our hands are just underneath our shoulders or maybe just a tad outside of that, okay? That's kind of the big one, right? Just first and foremost, directly underneath the shoulders, arms nice and extended in that top position. Anytime we get out too wide, the tendency is to start to use the internal part of that shoulder and the elbows start to flare out here, okay? So it's just kind of puts your shoulder in a bad spot. So again, hands just outside the shoulders or just below the shoulders, but directly in front of us as we start to come down, okay? That'll get us in a really good neutral position. Now as we drop down, try to think about keeping nice neutral elbows. So we're coming to like a 45-degree angle here. We definitely, again, don't want to flare out this way, but we also don't want to get in too tight here, right? We want to find some center ground, just a happy medium between those two. So a nice 45-degree angle as we press down, and then of course hips and chest hit the ground at the same time, hips and chest leave the ground at the same time. Now for all three of these guys, if we need to resort to going to the knees or maybe set up an ab mat to shorten up that range of motion, that's perfectly fine. If you do the ab mat way, we can just drop the ab mat right underneath the chest. That way it shortens that range of motion a little bit, okay? But that's gonna be minute 2. Minute 3, we're gonna do a 30-second or 20-second hollow hold, followed by a 20-second hollow rock. So for 20 seconds, you guys will be laid out on the ground, arms above. Really think about kind of keeping the lower part of your back on the ground. That's gonna be kind of our only point of contact. Feet are just outside, or just off the ground. We wanna be about 6 inches off the ground. But hands are gonna be behind us, and we're just gonna stay nice and tight in this position for 20 seconds.
When the 20 seconds is up, you're then gonna start doing hollow rocks, rocking back and forth. Okay, if we struggle with that, we can always bring our hands out in front, or of course we can bring those knees in and do tuck ups here. Same thing applies to the hold, guys. If this is too hard, just start bringing those knees up just a little bit, and that'll make it a lot easier as you bring those knees closer to your chest. Okay, so again, that's gonna be for minute 3. Minute 4, guys, you have your step ups. With the step ups, guys, we're just, again, going 20 seconds straight on our left side and then 20 seconds on our right. Now, if you don't have anything to step up to, nothing at all, I want you guys just to do reverse lunges, but again, we're gonna stay in that position the entire time. So if I'm doing my right side, I would do reverse lunges here. I get myself set up, find like a good center balance, center piece here, make sure you get that knee is underneath the hips, just like we talked about with the warm-up. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm simply gonna do all of my reps on my right, and then all of my reps on my left, or vice versa, right? So I'm gonna drive up, finishing nice and tall. Okay, so just going through reps. Again, all 20 seconds on one side, all right? So we're not alternating. So that's gonna be for minute 4. Minute 5, again, we can do cardio of our choice. I'll kind of leave that up to you guys. And that's it, guys. So 30-minute EMOM, like I said, we're going 5 rounds of this. Really good way to just kind of simplify things, break them down a little bit, and work on some different muscle groups within the workout. But once we finish up with that, we're then gonna finish up with a little bit of a cool down, a little bit of stretching for you guys today. We have, starting off, a little bar smash. So if you have a bar or something heavy at home that you can smash your quads with, I would suggest doing that. If we don't, however, not the end of the world, just a good way to kind of like break some stuff up before we start stretching it out. But once we get into that, you guys are gonna do 20 seconds of couch stretch. You can find a wall, you can do it with a bench, however you need to do it there, but we're just gonna set up, we're gonna show here. Foot will go on the wall. From there, I come down. Now I hang out with the chest nice and tall for that entire time on each side of the couch stretch. If you can't find a wall to do any of this stuff with, you can also do it seated on the ground as well, extending one leg out in front like so, and then just bring the other behind you, grab onto that foot, and then you can drop down to your elbow here like this and get that same stretch, okay? But once we're done with that, you guys are then gonna go into 2 minutes of pigeon stretch on each side. So what we were looking for there is we're gonna have our foot directly out in front of us, trying to make sure those hips are nice and centered. You can either camp out in this position right here, or you can come down to your elbows. And then we're just gonna try to really think about sinking our hips toward the ground, feeling a nice stretch on the outer side of that glute that we're working, right? So the outer part of this glute here. Something called your piriformis. It's usually responsible for a lot of lower back pain. I talk about it a lot because it's very important. A lot of people think that they have back issues, but really in reality, our glutes are turned off a lot because we sit at work a lot. We don't really use our butt. Right? So again, we get what are called Mütter's hips, which there's a lot of nerves that go into your spine from your hip, and that's the reason why you'll feel it typically on one side. So working that pigeon stretch, it's something we do a lot. That's kind of why we do that, okay? It just kind of helps stretch all that tissue out that we use a lot of with hinging movements, and allows us to just, again, feel nice and stretched out, nice and loosened up so that those nerves don't feel that sharpness. Okay, but again, that's going to be the second stretch there, and then you have a minute of calf stretch. You guys can kind of play around with this, but the way I usually do it is I'll just kind of get in like this position right here, and then I'll try to plant my heel, and then I'll just kind of sink in like so, okay? You can bend the knee a little bit if you like, and kind of stick that bone up in the air. That's one way to do it as well, kind of feel it more in your Achilles, but entirely up to you on how you want to approach that. That's the way I would do that though. But again, you're going to do that for 1 minute on each side, and then we have 1 minute of twisted cross. So twisted cross, guys, just getting into the shoulders a little bit. You guys did a lot of diamond push-ups, a lot of regular push-ups. So what we're gonna do there, lay down, arm goes out in front of us here, or off to the side, I'm sorry, so right arm go to the right side. And then we're just gonna rotate our body to our left side. Okay, so we're just hanging out right here, nice and passive for a minute on each side. And then finishing, guys, again, you'll do the other side for a minute. We're gonna finish up with a 3-minute forward fold. Simple stuff on that, guys. Feet are out in front, put your feet together. Grab onto your shins, grab onto your toes, whatever you need to, but just be nice and passive. Just kind of relaxing that body forward, okay? So again, guys, that's gonna be the cool down. That covers the cool down and the workout, actually. Get after it. This is a fun one, guys. Get it.